A24 basically released a Texas Chainsaw style horror movie that's pretty much way better than the actual Texas Chainsaw movie we got last month. Interesting. Hey everyone, it's Movie Lover 120 here, and I'm here with a brand new movie review, and this movie review is going to be for A24's newest horror movie, and that is pretty much a film that I was a little skeptical on, because it's from a certain director I'm not too big of a fan of, but I decided to give this movie a chance, because I did like the idea, hoping that maybe it would be like a graphic horror film. It came out this weekend, and I got back from seeing it in the theater, and that is none other than 2022's X, the newest A24 horror film, directed by Ti West. Yeah, Ti West. Before we get into details, what's the plot of this movie? Well, in 1979, a group of young filmmakers set out to make an adult film in rural Texas, but when their reclusive elderly hosts catch them in the act, the cast find themselves fighting for their lives. So yeah, that's the plot of the movie. So how was this movie made? Well, around November 2020, it was announced that A24 would produce a horror film that would be titled X, and would be directed by Ti West and star Mia Goth, Scott Mescudi, and Jenna Ortega. In February 2021, Brittany Snow from that shitty-ass Prom Night remake from 2008, yeah, the PG-13 one you're all thinking of, joined the cast. Principal photography took place from February 16th to March 16, 2021 in New Zealand's North Island. A number of scenes were shot in and around the city of Whanganui. Production was predominantly based at a farm in a settlement of Fordell, where a large barn was constructed as part of the production. Photography even took place near the Rangifikitana Bulls, where producers made use of an old town hall. Yeah, that's a production story. Now into the review. So guys, let me just say this. When I saw the trailer for this movie, I was not too hyped for it, because it was being directed by Ti West. Now guys, I have not seen House of the Devil, so I can't say much about that. But I know of certain things he did direct that I've hated. For starters, he directed the atrocious sequel that you all heard me rant on last year, Cabin Fever 2, Spring Fever. And yes, I am aware that was not his fault. That was Lionsgate, because the people at Lionsgate were absolute dumbasses and interfered on everything he tried to do for that movie. But unfortunately, because he wasn't able to disown it, because the Directors Guild were also dumbasses, it unfortunately still counts as a Ti West film for that reason. And I have a feeling it probably might have sucked regardless. If his stuff made it in or not, it probably would have sucked anyway. But anyways, and then another thing he also directed I did not like. He also directed the worst segment of the VHS franchise, no, not VHS franchise. The worst segment of the first film in the VHS franchise from 2012, Second Honeymoon. Yeah, the most boring one of the movie. So that was why I was not pumped. Because I've never been a fan of his work. He's never won me over. He's never been good of a director. I have not seen any of House of the Devil, once again, so I can't say anything about that. However, But the trailer also did kind of hint the movie would be kind of graphic. So after hearing that, I decided to give it a shot because you all know I'm a gorehound and love some extreme horror. So I got back from seeing the movie tonight. Well, and what did I think about this film? Well, for a Ti West movie, I thought it was pretty good. I was very glad I finally saw a good Ti West film for a change. Like, just this movie, in the words of one of the characters, one fucked up horror movie. I will say, it is very original. Because, like I said, it does take place in 1979 Texas, but the weird thing is, it was actually filmed in New Zealand. Yeah. And on to the characters. Yeah, these young filmmakers go to rural farmhouse to make an adult movie. We have the producer Martin that rents the farm location, and Mia, Brittany, and Kid are the film's star. And yes, there is graphic nudity throughout the first half. Jenna is handling the equipment behind the camera, and one of the first things you notice is that there's something odd about the old couple that own the farm, especially the old woman. Slowly, things become clear about the intentions of both the farm owners, like I've already said in the plot, and it gets bloody violent around the later half. So in a way, yeah, it kind of goes like the tone of Hostel, where Hostel you have the American Pie bullshit with all the sex stuff, and then the second half of Hostel you get the gore, and the gore is the half I like. Except with this movie, X actually handled the graphic nudity stuff fine. Hostel, on the other hand, the graphic nudity stuff almost killed that fucking movie for me. Because it was over the top and almost hogged up the entire film. Not here. Here it worked fine. Like, it's a nice old-fashioned, flawlessly 70s styled slasher horror flick with a very original premise. Like, as in any comparable horror movie, the most for the killings are fairly far-fetched, but who cares? When they are captured to so relentlessly gruesome, the gore here is definitely not for the faint-hearted. Like, another strong point is like the very gradual building up of the tension. This is a real slow burner, but the apprehension of looming doom is palpable throughout the movie. This is helped by a strong direction and great photography. Like, and in kind of a way, this feels like a way better Texas Chainsaw Massacre direct sequel than the actual Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie we got last month. Yeah. Like the old couple could literally just be Leatherface, and there you go. You got a way better Texas Chainsaw Massacre follow-up than like any of the fucking other follow-ups we've been getting recently, like Chainsaw 3D, Leatherface, and Texas Chainsaw 2022. Paying homage to the slashers of yesteryear, though, is nothing new, but Ti West's new movie X makes it feel fresh, and does this by primarily bringing attention to the sex parts of the genre and exploring what sex means. Like, after all, in part about a crew of people attempting to make a porno, but the sex angle goes beyond just cheap titillation. It's at the heart of the film, and West seems to be most interested in what the experience means, whether it's for love, way to recapture youth, or getting the most out of life while one is still capable of experiencing the act. It helps. It helps that the characters are written well and pretty likable, despite the sleazy material they're attempting to create. They don't feel shallow or sleazy themselves, which is nice. They're not annoying, immature dumbasses for a change that just swear their mouths away or just yell, "Yeah, I wanna fuck this shit tonight," or yeah, those annoying dumbass characters you find in a lot of slasher movies. They believe in their work and the reasons for making it. While it may have been nice to get a little more depth out of them, they clearly have history, and there are things hinted at that never get much development. They're at least a decent crowd of folks who are fun to be around. But now we get to the bad qualities. It's not a perfect movie, but pretty much all slasher films, except for the only really 100% perfect slasher movies are Nightmare on Elm Street, or John Carpenter's Halloween, or Friday the 13th 6 Jason Lives, or yeah, those ones. there are some characters who just exist to get killed off in predictable fashion, like Brittany Snow's character, or just RJ, I think the producer or something, who gets the first kill, by the way. And some death scenes kind of come off as rather anticlimactic, too. Like, the old man's death, who's the first villain to die. He just, like, how he died was, he gets startled, has a heart attack, and dies. So yeah, the old guy, the evil old guy, dies that way. And I thought that was kind of stupid. He deserves a better death than dying from a freaking heart attack. Thankfully, the old lady dies like a better death. I will say that. And while the characters are likable, nearly every single character in this story is incredibly flawed, and it still retains a shred of sympathetic humanity. The protagonists live too much in the moment with no regard for future consequences, while the film's villains yearn for a bygone era of their lives and harbor envy towards those who have what they lost. Each group just represents an untenable human desire and adds a layer of melancholy in the terror that unfolds. But despite those bad qualities, I think this is easily the best horror film of 2022 so far. And I have a feeling like I called The Batman the best movie of 2022. This movie's probably, for horror movies, X is probably going to end up keeping that spot, I gotta say. By the end of the year, because while I'm hoping Halloween Ends is good, I won't expect it. That movie is not going to top this. No. But I am hoping Halloween Ends still ends up being good, but I can definitely tell it is not going to come anywhere like this at all. I'm just hoping it's not anywhere as bad as Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022. Just please. Yeah. Let's just hope. So overall, if you are in for some throwbacks to vintage 70s horror and good gore and graphic sexuality, well obviously if you are over the age of 18 and up, because this is so not a movie for minors, then go give this movie a watch because you may get a kick out of it. And if you're wondering how I'm going to rank X, well, I'm going to give X by Ti West an 8 out of 10. And there we go. That wraps up my review for X from Ti West. I hope you like my new kind of way of ranking, giving out my rankings for the movies I review. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of that, because I may intend doing that to hopefully make my rankings a little more creative. But yeah, and until then, guys, that'll be it for this review. Thank you all for watching, and if you like this and want to see more, then don't forget to like, subscribe to Movie Lover 120.